Amira community. My name is Bethany Neal. I am the Community Life and Volunteer Coordinator for our Massachusetts home.
And I'm Sarah Rutherford, the Support Service Facilitator in the Massachusetts home.
And today we would love to share with you a little bit what happens in something we called Grace Circle.
So we're going to take a moment and welcome you into our circle, and we're going to light the candle. As we light this candle, let us remember the women who are still out there. May they find hope in this light and the courage to one day join us in our circle. So Grace Circle is this gathering that we have each week where we discuss one of the Amira values. There are 12 values, and each month we focus on one of them. It's a time for us to gather together and to share and learn and be vulnerable and grow.
And this is done once a week. And within each week, we dedicate to the theme of that month. And for this month, the theme is community. So every week this month, we will be dedicating to the topic of community and that value. And we want to invite you into a discussion that we would have, or an example of one of those discussions that Sarah and I will have for ourselves. But we invite you in to think about these questions yourself too as we go over them. So the first question that we have in the topic of community is, what is the difference between living together with someone and doing life together with someone?
So traditionally, in a Grace Circle setting, we would pose these types of questions to the women with the full understanding that they are going to participate as they are ready, as they feel comfortable, as they are so inspired. So when we pose a question like this, we're also inviting them to use all of their senses. So maybe when we ask a question about community, an image will appear in their mind. Maybe a word will pop out for them. Maybe a memory, good, painful. And so we allow the women to sit in that question. Sometimes we have silence. And then to share from whatever space they're inspired. There are no right answers, and it's really about exploring the value together. We know that everything that is said in Grace Circle stays in Grace Circle, and that this is a safe space. So to answer that question, what is the difference between doing life with somebody versus just living with somebody? Maybe, I think about when we've asked this question before, and one of the answers that comes up is, that feels unsafe. And so you can imagine that doing life with somebody feels unsafe. And what we're saying here at Amira is community can be a good thing. So there's a distance there. So we're talking about, in group, we're talking about how do we bridge that gap? How do we create a natural healing transition from community being this unsafe space to community being a place where we can heal and grow in a really healthy way? And the way that I would imagine that is, okay, our walls are up, we're fortified, I'm safe when I'm fortified. And then maybe as I start to feel more comfortable, I can ask my roommate to wake me up in the morning. And then maybe as I start to feel more comfortable, I can offer to do somebody's dish. And maybe as I feel a little bit more comfortable, I can speak up at dinner. And so grows this space of doing life together versus just living beside somebody. Yeah.
That can be a really vulnerable thing for any of us, right?
Yeah.
To not only share the same space environment-wise, but to actually be invested into someone else. And for me, at least, more so to let someone be invested into me. Yeah. To ask the question, how are you? And for me to really share my answer and to trust someone with what's going on. And like we've spoken about many times, life does not happen all in one day, but it's it's an ever-going thing, an
Mhm.
ever-going process of letting somebody in and saying, okay, today was good or today was not good, but can we do tomorrow? Can
Yeah.
we do the next day?
Yeah. That slow build.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
It's a reflection of many things that we've heard from the women and what we're processing ourselves as well. It's a journey that we're taking alongside them. And as we would have these discussions, we would maybe add on some other questions as we listen to what they've said. And then we do have a practical, tangible, visual example of being connected with a marble game. So if you will allow us some levity, Sarah and I are going to participate in a game that includes broken PVC pipe, and the objective to have one marble transfer from one bucket to the other using not our hands but these delightful things.
So
Are you ready, Sarah?
Yeah, the thing that I'd like to mention about games is oftentimes part of practicing community is vulnerability, and a really I guess way to ease into vulnerability is to do something silly. So balancing the levity, like the weight of something that could hurt like community with the levity of something as simple as a marble game can be a way to loosen things up in Grey Circle.
Absolutely. So we're going to trust you with our silliness now as we propel this marble forth.
So you need to know that typically this would be a larger room and there would be probably some running. So this is, use your imagination.
Right. But right now we have enough. We have enough conflict already trying to get our marbles.
This is not
We've
easy.
lost our marbles. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Ready? Here it comes.
Okay. No. All right. Go. No.
Okay.
So this is not easy.
Okay, we're gonna do it nice and slow. What did we learn from
slow.
that?
We have to
Slow.
communicate.
Okay,
We have to
yeah.
be better communicators. Okay.
we got this.
Slowly. I'm gonna
Okay.
till mine up here.
Okay, good.
Oh gosh.
Here it comes.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Good.
Okay. Yeah. Now
And you
your turn.
hold it
Okay.
there,
Oh,
and
where?
then-
What are you gonna back up? The bucket's right there. Okay. There we go. We did it.
That was it.
I love it.
That was amazing. So Sarah, if you'll help me just with some questions about
Yeah.
this, how in the world does this marble game share with us anything about being connected to each other?
Sure. So the heart of doing something like this during Grey Circle, like I said, is to create levity, to create connectedness, moving our body. We know that as trauma-informed staff that it's really important to move your body. And so this is a way for us in the middle of maybe what could be a hard conversation to get up and do something silly. But what's important about this is that you have to communicate.
Mm-hmm.
You have to say, oh, let's slow down. Let's go faster. Let's tilt it this way. Oh, excuse me, I have to get by you.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, so it creates an opportunity for communication, and it also it is connectedness.
Right.
Because I wasn't going to get it here to there without you, and in a larger room setting, I'm definitely not going to get it across the room without you.
Right, and vice versa. I wouldn't be able to do it without you as well.
Yes.
Definitely. But how did it feel for you to experience that connectedness in this game, at least?
So you need to know that that Bethany and I practiced this before getting
secrets.
into this, inviting you into Grey Circle, and we did it in a larger space. And so, I'm just getting to know Bethany. Bethany's a new member of our team, and I'm just returning. And so I feel a different level of connectedness with you after playing with you.
Wow.
Like after spending time with you and laughing with you, like that is connecting us just on a interpersonal level. So I think that that's true for the women too, who maybe aren't playing together, in other spaces.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really lovely. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I as well feel the experience of like, I can't do it all on my own. I need to invite someone else in.
Mhm.
And then when you held up your end,
Yeah.
you know, it's like, all right, I made that risk, right, to let somebody else in, and they showed me that it's okay, that this experience of allowing someone else to help me connect from one point to another actually worked, and actually we're stronger now because of it. That's beautiful. And then one of our last questions for you as well to think about at home is, what role does generosity play in living in community?
So this is one of my favorite questions, because what it invites is grace. Using the game as an analogy, you know, if I made a mistake, if I dropped my piece, if I dropped the marble, if we had to start over, I would need you to be generous in spirit with me in order to continue to enjoy the game. And so I think that, you know, when it comes to community, and this is something we talk to the women about in Grace Circle, part of being in community is also being generous with those around you and their journeys. We don't need to know the details of their journeys. We just need to be able to, when we can, offer grace for maybe the dish not getting done, or the chore not being done perfectly, or that person having a bad day and it impacting you. We're all traveling this road in our own journeys, but we're doing it collectively in this Amira environment. And so we need to be able to lend a generous spirit to those who are journeying alongside us. And so, yeah, that's something we would talk about a lot in Grace Circle.
Wonderful. So well put. Well, I think that's it for us. Thank you so much for joining us for this example of what a discussion, and as well the values themselves can be articulated in our group at Amira.
Yeah, we're so grateful.